When I was a lot younger, I was a bit of a hardcore atheist. Very, religion stupid. Who needs Christianity? Who needs Islam? Who needs Judaism? But when I grew up, as we all inevitably do, I kind of started to think a little bit more logically about it and thought, well, if there's so many people that follow, say, Islam, it can't all be wrong. And having all the Muslim friends I had growing up, I kind of was shielded from the negativity that the world's put out for Islam, terrorism and, 9/11, 7/7 and all that. My Muslim friends have encouraged me. I have a Quran and I talk with my Muslim friends a lot. I work with a lot of Muslims as well. But I don't know, I feel like it's that first step. I feel like I find it hard to reconcile faith. I'm one of those people that I need to see it. I need to know it. And I feel that sometimes with any religion, some of it is just, I believe, even if I don't know. That's what it is for me.
So when it comes to God, or when it comes to what you see around you, the universe, the trees, the birds, and when you look at the complex ecosystem, you look at, no matter how much you magnify, whether it's the atom, whether it's the DNA, you see an immense amount of information, cohesion. What do you personally attribute that to?
So the way I've always thought about that is the majesty of life is that it is so random, in that what we have as a species, as a universe, as Earth and all throughout human civilization, I think its randomness or its unlikeliness is what makes it so special.
So am I correct to assume you mean chance, yeah? That all of this came about by some inexplicable chance?
That's more or less the mentality that I have in some regard, yeah.
But when you look at and when you add the probability of all of this coming from nothing, it's pretty much zero.
This is true.
And even if we look, ever since we can remember, and even if we look in history, civilizations, the principle that we use to rationally live our life is normally, for example, if somebody did a DNA test to see if a child's theirs or not, and they said 85% it's yours, 15% it's not. Person goes, yes. So, yes, what? It's not mine. So, no, you missed the whole point.
Yeah.
Like, it's 15% it's not yours, but 85% it is. Like, even somebody says that if I walk into my kitchen, I see a freshly made tea in a saucer, really fancy, cup with the golden spoon in it and everything. You could say it's chance, which is 0.00001%, but 99.9999% that somebody put it there. They call it the inference to the best explanation. That's what the entire body of science relies upon. That you look at the probability of something. If it's more likely to be X thing, then it's X. If it's Y thing, then it's Y. And
that applies on a religious perspective.
That is from a scientific and a sociological point of view. For example, you're crossing the road, and you see some blood on the floor. You're going to assume it's from, either a pigeon, or a human being.
Something's happened.
Yeah, you're not going to assume that it's, Dave the alien came from, universe Y and came and did a giant poo, and that poo is actually blood, and that is actually valuable in planet Zog. We don't go to that. Like, even if you get a missed call from your boss and your name of your boss comes on your phone, you're going to assume it's your boss, not that he's been held hostage by Jeremy, who really likes drinking orange juice, and he's, his amount is finished and he's blindfolded. Do you see?
Yeah.
So
I do.
Yeah, these are outlandish examples, but I still think that they're more plausible than saying that, as complex as we are as human beings, you got the trees, the birds, we need oxygen, there's oxygen here, we need water, the water's here, we need the bees for pollen, we need the continuation of humanity. It's all there, bro. And when we look at everything, why is it that when it comes to everything else, we think, let's go with the logical option? But when it comes to thinking about this whole universe, we suddenly become, our IQ drops, and suddenly we're like, you know what? It could be an alien. You know, it could maybe it came from nothing. Maybe it was this or it was that.